Mr. Girish Kumar, KS, Senior Trader, Al Sakar General Trading Company LLC Dubai and Society Al Sakar Madagascar SARL and UAE. Mr. Girish Kumar, KS is a thorough spice and agro commodity professional with 32 plus years experience across India and overseas markets. His core strength is in spices. He is an MBA graduate from the Canadian School of Management, Iowa City. After his service of 15 years at the Indian Spices Board in spice export promotion activities, Mr. Girish resigned from government service, joined the corporate sector in India and later moved to overseas. Early in his career, while working as a commodity trader with an MNC in Singapore, he traveled across China, Vietnam, Malaysia and Indonesia for procurement of spices. Later, he moved back to India as the head of Spices and Plantation Crops Division with the Multi-Commodity Exchange of India. He also served for a short period with Reliance Retail Limited in India. He currently shuttles between Madagascar and Dubai while concentrating on spices, beans, pulses and raw cashew nuts from Madagascar. Mr. Girish Kumar is here to address the topic Tips on international market and promotion of spices and cashews. We are privileged to welcome Mr. Girish Kumar to the summit at Vibrant Tamil Nadu.
Before I go into my presentation, I would like to congratulate the team Vibrant Tamil Nadu for such a beautifully organizing this event without any minus point somebody can point out. I don't think there is any point where somebody can say, hey, it could have been like this, or it was possible for another way of doing things. So it is actually, in my opinion, it's a minus-free organized event, and the organizers deserve a big congrats for that. The organizers asked me to talk about the tips for promotion of spices and cashew. And I would like to call it as a trader's perspective rather than tips. So these are all my views and my experiences from the international market. First, I would like to comment on this, my disclaimer, because this subject itself is highly disputed, highly controversial. So maybe there could be points which may be controversial. And it becomes controversial because of the nature of the trade itself. That is it. And all the figures I am talking about in this presentation, I have taken from public media, released by the competent government authorities. And that is available everywhere. Anyone can Google it. There also, there could be disputes, differences of opinion, because the system in our country for collecting such figures are different. This is about my company, Al Sakar General Trading Company in Dubai. We are in Dubai as well as in Africa, in Madagascar. We are in Sudan and we are in Lebanon also. We are basically into trading of agri-commodities and we focus on third country trade. Our products to highlight is spices and dry fruits. That is a basic. And we do also pulses and grains. And myself is based in Madagascar, procuring with African agri-commodities. Sesame seeds, cumin seed, cardamom, cloves, black pepper, dried ginger, cinnamon, vanilla, nutmeg. These are some of the products which I would like to highlight, which we are dealing with. So now I go on to my perspective about the promotion of spices and cashew, especially focusing on Indian products. Spices, yes, this is a monotonous statement which is coming, increasing population, because the importance of spices is concerned with the population, because this is a food item. And where you have population growth, you have growth of spice industry as well as food industry. That is it. So it goes with the lifestyle. And lifestyle is changing everywhere. People are adapting to new situations. People are adapting to new way of life, which requires more food items and the changing food habits also. And added with that, the changing food habits make the requirement for more medicines also, You might be aware of that. And spices is by and large going into pharmaceutical industry, where the demand for spices also increasing. That is it. So where you have an opportunity to trade in spices, both for food and medicine. Now coming to spices, I would like to make a statement. Can India become leader of spice trade? There are many of you might be knowing India was at a time was the largest producer of spices and highest exporter of spices. And now the situation is not that. Maybe India is a producer of spices and India is one of the largest exporter of spices. So India lost the title of the largest exporter. That is, now we are going to discuss that. I think that would be the tip for the export also. In total, we have about 103 spices, which is traded across the world. 103. And India, government has listed 56 spices totally. Whereas the world is trading on 103. And government listed 56 spices. And out of these 56 spices also, if we take the list of exported major items, you can name very few, maybe only 15 items. Out of 103 spices, which is government has listed 56, and we are by and large exporting only 15 items. Out of these major products are this. This is because for an average Indian family everywhere in the world, spices means CTC, which is chili, turmeric, and coriander. This makes the whole spice for a kitchen for an average Indian family. That is the main reason. So other than this, have you heard of any spices being traded anywhere, or do you check for any spice in any supermarket other than this? Whereas the world is trading on 103 spices. So your opportunity is there. Have to increase your number of products. That is, I would say that is the first tip I would like to share with you. Increase your products and increase the products which the consumer wants. Many of you may be exporters and manufacturers, and you are going to the consumer market or the export market with your product and checking whether your product can be sold there. How many exporters or how many manufacturers think about what the buying country needs or what my buyer needs, whether I have that product? How many of you think yourself? How many of you think about that? You all are going to the market with your products and hunting for the buyer for that product. Nobody is checking what the buyer needs and goes with the product for the buyer. And that is what we have to develop it in India. Check for that also. So that is what I am writing. We should check for the needs of the buyer rather than check for buyer for our products. As I earlier said, world trade is on 103 spices. The value is approximately $13 billion. Out of the $13 billion with 103 spices, India by expected to increase by 30 billion by 2025. That is the market research from New York-based agency. This spice market is going to grow almost double in next maybe 7 to 10 years. Your opportunity lies there. You can refer to the research report by the US-based agency. I have given the link also there. You can check that. So this exponential growth is where it is going to happen. If I ask exporters, any spice exporter here, if I ask you, which is your market? Or for rather, if you ask any exporter of spices, which is your market? They will say, one is Gulf countries, second is Europe, and third is USA. Finish your export market. Am I right? Any spice exporter will say only these three regions. Whereas you have a very big spice market in the Far East and Pacific, and which is going to develop in the next maybe 5 to 6 years. So concentrate on those markets. Why these markets going to witness an exponential growth because, as I said in my first portion, the life change is happening more into this Pacific area rather than into US market or Europe market, where their market is increasing, but based on the quality focus, where Indian exporters are failing because they are going to the same market with the same products and compete with the same sellers, with the same buyers. We are not checking for a new segment to enter. That is one drawback that we have to change and move to the new market. And now coming back to the consumption segments. As I initially said, spices basically and by and large it's a food item. But nowadays if you think about this Ayurvedic industry in India, pharmaceutical industry across the world, more than 50 spices are used in this industry, into pharmaceutical industry. So rather than food item, now spices are more used in the pharmaceutical industry. How many people or how many exporters, how many manufacturers concentrating on this industry, or are coming with the new units producing products for the kitchen. Nobody is concentrating on this highly developing pharmaceutical industry or Ayurvedic industry. And retail business units, that has become a culture of the life nowadays. How many supermarkets you can see now? And think about 10 years back, how many supermarkets you had. So this increase in the number of supermarkets makes another market for the spices and end products for you. Now coming to another scenario. This is all from the spices board data. So there could be dispute on these figures, but I have taken it is from the authentic people. We have registered about 6,000 plus registered spice exporters in India. Our population, you can think about it. Our business community, you can think about how big it is. But registered spice exporters is only 6,000 plus. And I told you, spice industry across the world is somewhere around 13 billion US dollar. Out of that, India is contributing at nearly about 20%. India is contributing. With this 6,000 registered exporters, out of that only 500 are manufacturer exporters. Out of 6,000 people, only 500 is manufacturer exporters. And I told you, out of total 13 billion turnover across the world, India is exporting nearly about 1,10,28,000 tons of spices every year, which contributes nearly about 20% of the world turnover. And this 20% is contributed by 20% of these exporters, less than 20% of these registered exporters, only by about 200 exporters. This 2.78 billion Indian contribution to the world is by merely 200 exporters from India. Whereas we have about 6,000 registered exporters and 500 manufacturer exporters. From there you can take what India has to do to regain the capital of largest and the highest exporter of spices. Are you following me? I think this is the biggest tip I would like to share with you. Even the Chamber of Commerce in Tamil Nadu as well as in other states have to consider this point. Only 200 exporters contributing 2.78 billion export of spices from India. Balance 300 manufacturer exporters are there. Why they are not able to contribute? We have another 5,500 plus registered exporters. Why they are not able to contribute? I said, all these people make their product and hunt for the buyer. Nobody is making products for the buyer. What the buyer needs. You might have heard about joint ventures here. American company McCormick. They made joint venture in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, in Andhra, and in Karnataka. American company. Why they made? Because they are not getting their product from India. So they made joint venture with the manufacturers in India and they started producing their requirement. Even after so many years, that this much development, technical development, we are not able to cater to the demand of McCormick in India. So they have to come down and they are now manufacturing. They put their technical people in these manufacturing units. Likewise, from Japan also, Marubani is here. They are also doing the same. So all this points out to where we have manufacturing units, but we are not manufacturing what the buyer wants. We manufacture what we know and hunt for the buyer in the market. And where also we are going, nobody is going to a new market. How many of you going to new market like maybe Russian region? How many of you are exporting? Or how many of you are exporting to Latin American markets? No one. Central American markets, how many are exporting? And I am coming from Africa. I know how many Indian products are in Africa. How many manufacturers from India is exporting their products to Africa? I can say hardly less than 5. Less than 5. These are the markets where we have to concentrate also. That is it. So again, I repeat my question. First one, can Indian spice rule global spice market? Is possible if we think on the same lines. These are all I spoke about, our contribution to the world and how many people contributing that. We have to change on that. Countries, as I initially said, exporters are concentrating on the same market and compromising on price and quality. Why should we do that? We have to hunt for new markets. This is already talked about all these things, the changing food habits and lifestyle, increasing the market for spices. So you have a better market to come also. Concentrate on developing new markets. Traditional spice community, whenever we are talking about the spice market or the export market, we talk about where Indians have migrated. We have another market also, we have to concentrate on that. Health consciousness, quality, technology, and price consciousness. This is one point you have to concentrate. We were talking about this. Once in a time, we were largest exporter. I already explained all these slides. I'm just showing the slides, which I already spoke to you about this. So if we concentrate on all these aspects, in my view, again, we will become the largest exporter once again. I sum up. Increase your production of the spices, increase your products to the export market, and have new products to export, and finally, produce for the buyer. I repeat that. In which way you can be, again, India can become the leading exporter. And one snip about the cashew market, as it is already in my topic. Traditionally, India is the biggest cashew supplier to the world. And recently, Vietnam has developed. But now, maybe last 1 year, India and Vietnam is losing control on cashew market. Why? Because India and Vietnam is buying raw cashew from Africa, transporting it to these countries and processing and re-exporting. Now, Africa started processing cashew in African countries itself. And they are offering maybe 30%, 40% less than Indian and Vietnam prices. So that is the one market you have to concentrate on. Now Africa has started adapting technology and producing processed cashew and exporting. Now majority of Gulf countries and Europe is buying from African countries rather than from India or Vietnam on price concerns. So that is one we have to address in the cashew industry. I'm not going into much detail in the cashew because cashew is still not a predominant market to share here. That is why. But now African countries are becoming more and more into cashew, and more Indian entrepreneurs are coming down to Africa and starting their processing unit in Africa. So that is all about cashew right now. If somebody needs more information, we can meet in person. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, and also thank you for listening to me.